mode is Christine? Forgot I have my TV on.
Okay. Once again, here we are, the Mystic Syndicate, with the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition ambassadors to the Barbarian Kings. I'm your Dungeon Master, Brian Anderson, and I'm joined by our faithful and ever on time party of players. So, folks, y'all want to give us an introduction, let people know who you are?
I'm Shane. I'm playing Apton, Mousefolk Cleric.
I'm Christy, playing Athena, Shifter.
I'm playing Armos. My name's Ricky, the Tiefling Sorcerer.
All right. Very good. So, yeah, we are continuing on. This is episode 11. 11 weeks into this adventure. Oh. And, yeah, I know. It's kind of interesting that we've...
More or less,
yeah.
Skip a few. 99, 100, yeah.
99.
How's that rhyme go?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's been a busy week here with Mystic Syndicate. Was able to reach out to some new people and hopefully get some more views. We made sure to test our audio tonight. I think everybody sounds pretty good. I hope if you happen to be in our chat tonight, and make sure to give us a thumbs up or a heads up if we're a little too loud or too extreme, or if you don't hear us at all, make sure to let us know. That's kind of important. So the last time that we left off, we were in the city of Barduk, which is right here in the center of our map. Hopefully we can see it. I can't see it, but maybe you can see it. Let's see if... Oh, good. It's actually working. Yay. Ooh. Okay, I was a little bit concerned there because I was like, why isn't this screen moving?
The maps by Anna B. Myers always work.
That's right. That is right. Oh, I was on this a Facebook page, which is the I think it's the Greyhawk Flyness Geological Society. All they do is make maps for Greyhawk, and it's a great site. And Anna is on. Actually, that's where I found Anna. I found Anna on that site, and I was like, yeah, okay, great. But there's always people there who have like really good ideas. And one idea that I saw that came out was a guy he had a shop, a magic shop in one of the cities that he had in his campaign, that it was named after her. It was Anna Myers Magical Maps and Globes. Nice. And it was like, oh my gosh, that is such a great idea. I absolutely loved it. So I actually told him, I said, I may end up having to steal that down the road. But yeah, our maps are by Anna, who spends an awful lot of time on them. She's very talented. So make sure to visit her at annabmeyer.com and visit her over on her Patreon and maybe drop her some cash or whatever so she can keep on chugging out those maps.
Yeah.
All right. So we ready?
Ready to... Oh,
are we ready?
I was taking items to go sell.
Yes.
Everyone else was basically hanging back.
Well, actually, Apton was on his way. He'd already went to see the magistrate, and then he was on to see, I believe it was a...
Cord.
Yeah, he was going to a temple of Cord to touch base with them. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to pick it up with Apton, and we're going to move forward from there. Okay. So Apton, once you're done with the magistrate, you are able to locate the Temple of Cord, not too actually far away from the center of town, but it is off the path and away from the market. But you definitely are able to quickly find the temple. And so what are you planning on doing?
I will go in and see if there's any sort of prayers going on, try and greet any acolytes that are there and make a donation to the coffers and see if there's anything that they could use my help with.
Great. Okay, so yeah, you walk in and you can see that there are some worshipers in attendance, and you do see a man who is dressed in priestly vestments up at the very top of the or at the other side of the temple on a raised dais, who is talking about the spreading the word and getting more converts and things of that nature. Just the normal sort of proselytizing that you would kind of you've grown used to, especially with members of Cord, and also you're talking about strength and using that strength to do good and do things for others, not just tearing things limb from limb as most. And there's Shane going, yeah. I don't have to touch them. I just have to hit them with a spell that makes them pretty much fall apart. Lovely. But yeah. So you are you going to wait until the sermon is over?
Of course, I wouldn't want to be rude.
Okay, so you sat in there for probably about a good 20-25 minutes before the sermon wraps up and people start getting up, and they don't leave automatically. There's a lot of fellowship afterwards, and people talking about going to the sparring to spar and things like that afterwards to test their combat prowess, and you end up as you're sort of standing there watching the crowd and everything like that, you notice the man who was talking at the very beginning walks up to you and he says, "Greetings, brother, and how may I be of help to you?"
Well, it is I who is looking to be a help to you. We are heading out here in the next day or two, and I was just wondering if you were needing anything moved or brought to anywhere on the road to Chindle.
He looks and says, "That we are very fortunate to have you then, because actually I do have I have a very important tome that needs to go to the Temple of Cord in Chindle. I was about ready to see if I could hire a writer to take it, but being that you are here, I would better to entrust it upon a fellow priest or a fellow man of the cloth of our faith than to just let some post writer take it. Would you be willing to carry this book along with you?"
It would be a pleasure.
He says, "I will make sure that it is, and I'll also make it profitable. If I could tempt you with 10 gold to take it along with you."
I will do it for 5, and the other 5 we can put towards the cause.
He gives you a broad smile and he's like, "That is wonderful, brother. Thank you very much for coming out and helping." He said, "Other than that, that's really about all I have, unless you would like to take over for me this evening for evening prayers."
I would, but I do want to talk to you about penance.
Of course.
I know Cord's teachings, and I know that we are supposed to watch out for the weaker of our fellow man. But what does it say about moving forward by protecting somebody while also hurting somebody who appeared to be weaker?
Oh, yeah, that would seem to be a grave, maybe not a sin, but definitely a transgression. Can you elaborate?
There was somebody who was in my company who is being condemned for a crime. He claims it wasn't him. Somebody noticed, and I tried to push the thought out of their mind and was brought to using physical force to stop it from spreading.
Oh.
rumor.
And did this unfortunate soul pass from his mortal coil?
Oh yes.
That is quite. Is the was the body properly buried afterwards?
No, it wasn't. We were still kind of in a rush to move, and we did send it out into the forest, but it turned up. The horses that were with him actually turned up to come back to us without the body.
Oh, that does sound absolutely. That doesn't sound good, brother. I hate to say this, but it would be, of course, much better if you had buried the body and gave it a proper burial. And there's no way that you could retrieve the body now. Of course, it's lost in the wilderness.
Yes, it is.
Well, of course, there is ways to atone for this. I'm sure that if you actually here, let me write something up for you. I'm going to give you a letter of recommendation that you take this to the temple in Chindle. And once you arrive there, make sure that it gets into the hands of Father Maris Pitch. Once you are there, hand it off to him. He'll read it. I will explain to him the situation, and he will find an appropriate course of action for you if you're willing to take that.
Of course.
Yes.
Need to keep right with Cord, and
exactly.
I'd like to think some of the good I'm doing is outweighing the evil deeds that I have done, but
right. Well, good. Very good. So that's excellent. I'll make sure to write it up for you. If you plan on coming back later, that would be wonderful. You can pick it up when you're back. It may take me a little time. I still have to talk to some of the other congregants here today. And if you can give me a couple of hours, I'll be happy to have it ready for you.
Of course. I will hang out here a little bit and see if there's anything I can do to help around.
Great. That is wonderful. But most likely you'll probably want to head off to dinner eventually. I mean, by that time, the evening, yeah. So, I mean, you can always come back later. It's nothing extreme. We still have probably about another good 4 or 5 hours before our evening prayers start.
What did you say the father's name was? Father?
The one in Chindle?
Yep.
Maris Pitch.
Alrighty, thank you.
Okay. And the man that you're talking to right now, his name is Jonathan Swift. And Christy smiles widely, and I don't know why.
He's just admitted to murder, but yeah.
It's all, you have to keep it in the faith. They have to keep it quiet.
Well, also,
you
got to think about it. He is confessing this in a holy, sanctified building, and so he could actually claim sanctuary, and there's nothing that could happen. Of course, he couldn't leave the building if he did that, but yeah.
So he gave the letter to take to the other guy, and he's like,
and the book.
Take the delivery, take the book, and then arrest him.
Yes, get this foul being out of our sight. No.
Seal of confession, bitch.
Well, it wasn't like you signed anything. You were just telling him a hypothetical. You could have said, I'm asking for a friend.
He could have, but he didn't.
No, you really didn't. So that's okay.
He said, I killed him. I killed him dead in the face. Did you bury him? No. Nah, dude.
Hell no.
The horses came back. I buried them.
Yeah, and then we sold his horses. And then we add insult to injury.
We're going to have wanted posters of him now.
There's like two wanted posters. Now that's one thing you haven't seen since you've got to Barduk, so you're kind of wondering what's up with that. But it kind of gives you a little bit of pause, Armos, that you maybe you're kind of in the clear. You're hoping you are, but you're not sure yet.
I won't take your hope, DM. Because you're just going to take it back.
Your false hope.
Yeah. By the way, I smiled because Jonathan Swift wrote Gulliver's Travels.
Right. That is true.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I don't mind using it. That's all right.
I smiled because I recognized the name.
Very good. Well, yeah. So, okay. So here you are. I'm pretty much. Are we pretty much wrapped up, Shane? What you're planning on doing?
I'll hang out for like another half hour or so, and then just head back over to the inn.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so Armos, you have made your way literally across the street from the inn to the market square, and you are walking around the market square talking with folks, and now you're still disguised, am I right?
Yeah, because I disguised as I came in the gate, so I probably have another 20 minutes left.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And you'll probably be able to do most of what you want to do within that 20-minute time period. So you make your way to there are a few stalls that have blacksmiths, and there's also a few stalls that have weapons, that they're actually selling weapons. The blacksmiths, for the most part, are doing repairs for people. But you're able to find a good weaponsmith who also is selling weapons on the side. He's just not repairing and making them just to like, oh, look what I can do. No, he's actually. So are you going to approach him?
Yes.
Okay. It's actually an Elven fellow, and he's making as you approach the table, you can see that these are fine elvish made swords, daggers. Some of them are silvered, beautiful pieces. And he looks up at you and says, "Oh, good day, Squire. How may I be of service to you?"
Good day, sir. I'm here to sell items and possibly procure some items.
Ah, that is what I like to hear. So, what is it that you happen to have in your bags there? Looks very heavy.
Well, I will show him. Yeah, it is very heavy. And I've got the enhancement spell as well, the double carry weight. So maybe he's impressed by how much I'm carrying. And I'll say, I have 5 chest plates. What else did you give me?
We gave you 5 breastplates.
I thought you.
And then 2. It was. I thought I just want to wrote it down somewhere. Here we go. 5 times banded armor, 5 longbows, 5 short swords, 4 short bows, and 4 scimitars.
So I'll show him everything, and I'll ask him if he's not interested in the bows. I can just keep them.
He does look at them and he says, "Unfortunately, I'm not really in the market for bows at this time. So thank you very much for at least letting me take a look at them." And he says, "But I am interested very much so in the short swords and the scimitars. I would definitely like to see those." And so he starts picking them up and looking at them, and he says, "Oh, interesting. Some of these looks to be dwarven. Where did you find such weapons?"
Well, we ran into some troubles on the way here. Me and some traveling companions. They were hobgoblins, and I'll point to the banded chest plate, which I believe had their symbol on it.
He looks it over and says, Obviously, these hobgoblins have procured these dwarven weapons in some way, shape, or form, most likely being that they're hobgoblins, have taken the lives of those poor dwarves. He says, though, the scimitars, though, that's definitely not a dwarvish make. That looks more like something that was created in hobgoblin forges. So he says, I will take those. If you don't mind, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to give you full price. They're not what I would consider very good make, even though they're very effective, but I can definitely use the metal. The short swords, though, I could resell. How about I do this? I will, for all 5 short swords and the 4 scimitars, I will give you, how about 150 gold pieces?
I'll take a look around his shop. Do I see anything that I can, the daggers in particular? I want to look at those.
Okay. Yeah, he has a really nice selection of daggers, and some of them are silvered, where they actually have a silver coating on them. But then he has ones that are actually made of silver, which bring a little bit more of a heftier price. All of the silver ones, not the silvered, the silver ones are masterworks. So those would be ones that you could actually, if you took to an enchanter, they would be able to actually put magical abilities upon them.
Very nice. And the price for those, let's say, is it like one of them is going to be more than 150 gold?
Let's see. No, actually, no. A silver dagger is going to run you probably close to about 50 gold pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I want to barter with him and say, how about 100 gold pieces and 1 silver dagger?
He looks at you and says, that, sir, is something that I could definitely do. And he extends a hand to seal the deal.
Sounds good.
All right. So he says, please go right ahead and choose the dagger of your want, and I will go ahead and take these weapons off your hands.
Okay. And I'll go ahead and do that.
Good. Okay.
Question.
Sure.
How do thieves' tools actually work?
Thieves' tools actually work. Okay, well, thieves' tools, what you would do is they would be like a set of picks. There's other types of burglary tools that it would probably have be a part of, which is like maybe a small crowbar, so you could pop locks or pop
Gotcha.
like door jams and stuff like that. If you're being a little breaking and entering, if that's what you're looking to do. Do you have a skill in its use though? Do you have?
Yeah, so I have a sleight of hand.
Okay, that's good.
But I'm a little scared. But I guess you only live once.
You thinking about picking up a set of thieves' tools?
No, as I reach for one dagger, I want a sleight of hand another one.
Oh. Okay.
And I get shit for the things that I do.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
I'm gonna wait for him to turn his back.
Okay, so as he gathers up the other items that you have, he turns away from you to store them next to his forge. So you will go ahead and make that sleight of hand with advantage because he actually has his back completely turned. Oh, geez. Okay, that's much better.
My heart is pounding.
Oh my god, that would have been terrible if you'd failed that. If you got something
And-
less than a 5, I would have been like, and Armos goes to prison.
And I'm gonna leave his ass there.
I feel bad. I'm gonna drop 25 gold piece on the ground and then walk away.
Okay, not allowed to keep watch. Not allowed to sell our junk. Got it.
You don't know any of this is happening.
That's right, you do not. So, okay, so you were able to pick up, are you picking up a second silver dagger?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have 2 of these silver daggers, and your business is done here. Are you returning to the... Oh, that's right, you were going to go try and sell the longbows and the armor, were you not?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you got... Yeah.
As I walk away, I'm gonna shapeshift back into my regular self.
Okay. All right, very good. So you shapeshift back into the Armos aspect. Yep. Very nice.
As before, I was wearing a hat that covered the horns,
right?
Which is part of the disguise, and
yes.
I can appear a foot taller. So that's what I was doing, with facial changes, I guess, as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's interesting. With a hat, you can add another foot.
Yeah.
Well,
so
is it like one of those? Is it a cat in a hat?
Yeah. Let me see what my disguise is.
Oh my god!
So I can use it once per something in my racial ability, and it says that I can change. I can't change my body type.
Okay.
So I got to keep my limbs. If I'm bipedal, I got to keep all that. But I can disguise a hat. But if someone tries to interact with the hat, they can see through the hat.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I get that. Okay, cool. All right, so you go ahead and walk on down to one of the armorers. Now, there is an armorer here, and next, right across from him is a Fletcher.
All right, then the Fletcher is where we go.
Okay, so you head over to the Fletcher, which is actually probably about 5 cubicles down from the weapon crafter. And you see a half-elven man standing there who is hanging up some new bows on pegs on a display rack. And he looks to you and says, "Oh, good day, sir. And what, I see you have some bows. Are you looking for repairs, or are you looking to maybe sell or trade?"
I am definitely in the business for trading. What you got?
Oh my. Well, let's see. He brings down a beautiful long bow that is actually very ornate. You can see that there's some personal details that have been placed in there. Actually, right along the shelf, it has it has an actual cut-in shelf into the bow. It's not just a regular stick bow. It actually has a good shooting shelf. And on the side of the shelf is it's inlaid with a ruby. And it's really, really pretty. And he says, but sir, you haven't seen the beauty of this fine weapon yet." And he says, "It has a little bit of luck instilled in it, which gives you a better chance of making your shot."
Very interesting. Yeah. I've never personally held a bow, so I'm not sure if that's going to pique my interest, unfortunately.
Okay.
Do you have any crossbows?
Yes, of course I have some crossbows. And he kind of leads you over to another table, and he pulls back a sheet that was under. He said, "Perfect timing. I was about ready to open these up and let you and let people peruse them." And you see he has 2 light crossbows, 2 mediums, and he has 2 handheld, the little pistol ones. And he says, unfortunately, these are not as special as that longbow was, but still very, very good weapons. And you can see that all of them are masterwork. You can tell by the details that these are definitely top of the line crossbows. So he says, interested in maybe saying a trade, or maybe.
Yeah, I got my eyes on this medium crossbow here. It looks very nice.
Okay.
Is it two-handed?
Yes.
Very nice. I have a light crossbow, and I'll pull out my personal light crossbow as well.
Okay. He says, "Oh, that's a very nice one. Where did you find such craftsmanship? It's very nice."
This one I grabbed in Greyhawk before adventuring.
Oh, an adventurer from Greyhawk. How wonderful. So the items that you're carrying with you right now, are they also from Greyhawk?
We procured these from bandits that decided to advance on us. So.
Oh, very, very interesting. So they've seen some trouble. Interesting.
Oh, yes.
Well, very nice. And he said, "So, are you looking to maybe step up to one of my crossbows?"
Oh yes, I'm very interested in the power of them.
Excellent. Well, you can't. You will definitely not find a better weapon here at this market square. But how about you step off to the side here? I do have some targets set up if you want to give them a go.
All right.
So he takes you off to the side there, and you can see, yes, there is a large straw target, probably about 50 yards out. And he says, "Oh, hold on 1 minute, sir. I have to make sure that the way is clear. So if there's bystanders walking through, we don't want to shoot them in the head with a crossbow. That would be terrible." So he walks over and he says, Attention. There is going to be firing on the range. And he walks back over and he said, "Okay, everybody's been warned, so you can go ahead, sir, and give it a go."
All righty. I will load one of the bolts and fire them.
All right. Excellent.
I guess I can roll to hit.
Yes, you can.
Target. Should I just do ranged with what I have now? It's just a light crossbow.
Well, let's see. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can use that. Holy shit. Okay.
I'm doing pretty good.
Not too shabby. Okay, so yeah, you actually shoot this thing. It is very comfortable. It does not have a lot of kickback or anything of that nature. And you feel that, wow, okay, this is very good. I could definitely do this. And it goes right to the target, and your aim is true.
Awesome.
Nice.
So I will ask the gentleman if my bolts work with this, or do they require special bolts?
He says, well, let's see. You're using a light crossbow, and you're stepping up to a. Which one were you looking for? The heavy?
Yeah, the heavy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So actually, no, the bolts should probably still work. It would be different if you were using like the little handheld jokers, because you couldn't fit like a full bolt onto one of those little tiny ones. But okay. Good. And he says, so what do you think?
I like it a lot, and I think we should add it to our trade.
Very good. He says, do you mind showing me what you have? I've shown you what I have.
And I'll present the 5 bows.
Okay. So that's right. Yeah, you guys have 5 long bows and 4 short bows. Okay. So yeah, he takes a look at them. He picks them up one by one, and he says he's looking at some of the short ones, and he's like, unfortunately, so if you see right here, you can see that there's actually there's a few horizontal cracks in one of the limbs. Unfortunately, this one's going to be pretty much shot. He looks at some of the other ones and he says, okay, a little bit of wear, but nothing that couldn't be sanded out. And he says, how about this? I will throw in the crossbow for all of these. And let's see if you can. You have 50 gold?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, so he says, then I believe we have a good trade. So he gathers up the other ones. He leaves you with the one cracked short bow, and he said, so this is actually probably the best thing you could do with this is toss it upon the fire. But all right. Yeah, so he takes those and you give him the 50 gold, and he hands you a brand new masterwork heavy crossbow.
Woo!
Nice.
I'm looking into D&D Beyond looking for masterwork bow.
Okay.
What exactly does it do?
Well, if you bring it up on, it should have it in D&D Beyond, I believe. I'm sure.
I do have a crossbow heavy.
Okay.
1d10 plus 2.
Okay.
It's worth 50 gold pieces.
Okay.
Is that the masterwork, or?
You know what? Here's the interesting question: do they even have masterwork in D&D 5 point or 5th edition? I mean, you know us. We're always going back to because we're old day Pathfinder folks. So there's always masterwork stuff there. So
yeah.
even if they don't have masterwork, I'm going to go ahead and say because it's masterworked, you would actually add a +1 to it, but it's not a magical +1. So instead of a +2, you would have a +3.
Okay, let's see.
Is that okay?
I might be able to add a custom item and start with a heavy crossbow and then +1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but remember, if you were fighting like incorporeal creatures like ghosts and things like that, usually you need magical items to be able to hit them. Same with like trolls. You would need it's not going to work unless you would take it to an enchanter to have some sort of magics imbued on it. Okay, good.
Okay.
I like it. All right. So it looks like all you have left is armor.
I thought I sold that to the last guy.
No, you sold the swords.
You sold the swords.
Oh, okay.
You sold the short bows and the long bows. The scimitars you sold. So now you have 5 pieces of bandit armor.
All right.
Is it right, bandit armor? I think that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
True to armor.
All right. So, yeah, you're able to find the armor. He's literally right next door. A dwarven gentleman is there, and he sees you coming with your sack of armor. And pardon my inability to be able to do accents for dwarves, because everybody knows that dwarves have Scottish accents, and I can't seem to do that. So...
Have Shane do it.
Oh, Shane, do you want to be our dwarven armorer? Is it? Oh no! And Christy's looking around like
Just
going,
the
"What?"
roll of the tongue.
That's one thing that I can't do well is roll my R's. If I could, I would, but I can roll them. I can do it, but they're so short. It sounds so guttural.
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna let you do it, Brian.
Okay. So, my apologies to those who who can speak with who do have the Scottish accent. So here I go. It's really terrible. forgive me. I asked my ancestors to also forgive me. I said, "Hey lad, what you need?"
Hello, good sir. I'm here to trade. I have some armor to sell.
Actually, I should probably be more gruff. Hey, well, that sounds wonderful. Why don't you put it right up here and I'll take a gander at it.
Alrighty. And I'll show him all the armor.
He's going to turn into Dracula here in a minute. I said, aye, lad. Well, these look like they're... These definitely don't look like Dwarven make or even Elvish. Where did you get these?
No, these are locally sourced from the hobgoblins, and I'll point to the insignia.
He says, aye, yeah, Horn Society, these are some pretty bad folks. I said, I do like it, though. It doesn't look too bad, and, there is a market for this sort of stuff.
They make very great heavy armor. They were difficult to defeat.
I'm sure. Well, I'll go ahead and take a look at it and see. And he picks up a couple of them, and he's like, oh, yeah, a little bit of damage here. So I guess somebody used some fire on one of these. Yes?
Probably.
Aye. All right. Well, how about this? Because I do like it and there is a market for it, how about we go with... I give you 30 gold pieces for each.
30 gold pieces. That sounds good to me.
He like, all right. Well, that's excellent. And he says, he starts to take them and put them behind the counter. He has there. Now I'm speaking. I'm actually not even speaking. I'm just now doing it. Like
It works. It was good.
Sorry. Once again, I'm sorry.
Are you out of Scottish stamina?
Yeah. Well, it's so hard to actually get it and keep it going. That's the terrible part. It's like
every time I've ever done it, there's always like I do a line from Shrek, and that's what gets me into the mind of doing it, and then I keep going from there, and then if I stumble, I have to go back to that line from Shrek and keep going.
His line is usually "Damn it, donkey."
Was that it?
No, it is donkey.
Damn it, donkey. Yeah, that's what gets him into it.
Okay. Yeah, see, I haven't been able to do that yet. And so, yeah, it's pretty terrible. All right. So, yeah, he gives you 30 gold pieces for each of those items. And there were 5 of them. So that's another 150 gold. Unless my math is off and I've had a stroke.
I've been mathing this, and boy howdy.
What? Is it not good enough for you?
You're not a rogue, so I guess I can't hold it against you.
Probably not. We're learning, so we'll see.
Just so anybody who's interested, had he sold everything for what it's worth in the book minus the one bow, he should have gotten about 1,725 gold. He has made, after he spent extra and got the bow put in, he made 175 gold.
Right, but you just gave me the items, so...
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
He just gave you the items, not thinking that you would sell 250 gold piece armor for only 30 pieces.
But anyways...
He was a very convincing dwarf.
Apparently.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Yeah. Okay, so by the time that you were finished haggling and doing all of these wonderful things, you feel that haggling or not haggling. That was a slap, I know. I'm sorry. That was terrible. So by the time you're finished with them and you start making your way out of the marketplace, feeling that you actually feel good about how things have went, you're actually you're happy You're almost kind of skipping as you come around the corner there. You run into Apton, who is also heading back towards the inn. And so as you got, greet him and tell him about all the wonderful things that happened.
I sold it all, and then I'll hand him over.
150 gold.
Yeah, 150 plus, what is it, 75?
No, it was 175 total that you made off of the stuff you sold, because you got the crossbow and paid 50 gold on top of it.
Oh my god, this is so funny.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then drop 25 somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did drop 25
So he should have gotten 150 for the swords,
because his guilt.
but he traded for a dagger, which would have meant he got the 150 out of it, but then he dropped 25. So he actually made 75 off of it. There's no appraise skill in here either.
Wait, they don't have an appraise skill?
No, because I was looking at it,
Holy mackerel.
I was like, well, maybe Apton should have known what this stuff was worth, but then I was like, oh, there's no appraise.
Maybe
Do
there's
any of our characters know?
there's
I could probably argue Apton would know what some of this is worth since he worked on a pirate ship and sold
yeah.
and
But-
bought swords, I'm sure.
But unfortunately, you handed everything off to
Yeah.
Armos and sent him along his merry little way to the market.
I assumed the charismatic one would be the good idea.
You assumed wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, it's terrible. Okay.
And then I'll show him 2 daggers that I got, and I'm gonna give these to Athena. She's effective with these daggers.
Well, that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't like he went and purchased it for his own. He actually got a gift for Athena, which was very kind and actually that's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you all keep talking and then making your way back to the inn, I need you to both make perception checks. Okay, so Armos, you rolled an 11, and Apton, you guys, okay, oh yeah, so both of you actually, because it was pretty easy, you see as you start approaching, you kind of slow up just a little bit. You see that there are 2 soldiers of the Furiondi army are posted outside of the Armored Badger. 4 horses, all bearing military barding, are tied to a hitching post outside. You are eyed suspiciously by the soldiers as you enter.
Do I see, when we get inside or outside, do I see Henrik?
No, actually the Teamsters are not there.
Okay.
But what you do see inside, once your eyes adjust to the change in light, you see a tall man wearing a dress uniform standing by one of the large round tables. And Jorth and Zathia are literally hanging on him, hugging him tightly, while Helenta talks with a similarly dressed soldier. All the while, others make their way through the door to be greeted by Sherry, who is the waitress there. Fodor, the half orc, stands behind the bar talking with a customer.
So I'm gonna guess that's General Alistair, their father.
That would be Marquis. I don't know. It's a French word, and I'm terrible. Marquis. That's it. Yeah. Unfortunately, like I said, foreign languages other than, well, my German's not bad, and my Finnish has gotten better. Once again, another language that requires a rolled R. Oh gosh. So, yeah. So you walk in and see this, and as you do so, you see kind of a sleepy but at least somewhat rested-looking Athena ascends the staircase and comes up short a little bit as she stops to survey what you all are also seeing. And so, as the children break their hug with the tall officer and rush over to you, Apton and Armos, and Zathia and Jorith proclaim excitedly. They said, "Oh, sir, guess what? Father has came, and now we won't be much of a bother to you any longer."
Oh, you guys have never been a bother to us.
She just gives you a broad smile, and both Jorith and her said, "You have to meet Father. He's so... we've already told him so much about you." And then Zathia turns and looks up the staircases and sees Athena there, and she said, "Oh, Mistress Athena, you have to come down and visit and meet Papa." And so you all come over and you sit at the table, and they greet you, and Alistair extends his hands and shakes hands with each of you, and he says, "Oh, so you are the ones that I have to thank for saving my children. I've heard so much so far from them." Says that you were beset by hobgoblins, of all things.
Oh, that wasn't even the start of it. But yes, sir, we were attacked by hobgoblins.
And he says, "Well, then I owe you all at least a meal and maybe also a proper gift. Thank you so much for looking out for them. If I had been able to tear myself away from the front earlier, I would have been here would have been actually in Critwall to have collected them myself." And he introduces the other officer. His name is Stephen Vance. And he says, "Yes, this is my adjutant, Stephen, who actually happens to, as you may or may not be able to tell, do a perception check real quick." All three of you. And Armos is like, "I've got lint in my belly button."
The floor is really nice. I'm more focused on.
Okay, yeah. So Athena and Athena and Armos are like, "Hey, there is belly button lint in there." But Apton looks around and actually sees that Helenta and Stephen are actually holding hands, and oh, geez. What is his name? What are you writing?
Marquise?
Oh, yes. Alistair says, yes, it does seem that the young lovebirds have been reunited. He said, "Well, so please take a seat." And so you all sit, and I am going to go ahead and hopefully be able to show you the map and show you where everybody is sitting. And hopefully,
The map.
Hopefully, I'll be able to get this all set up for you. And let me see if I can get this to work, because it can be crazy.
I see it.
A little bit. Yeah, but I need people on
Twitch.
On the Twitch to be able to see all this good stuff.
Can you say El Mapa? Dora the Explorer.
Oh, look at that.
It's not El Mappa. Pretty sure she just says map.
Right. I would hope so. Yeah. So
That didn't sound very Spanish.
No, it didn't. Not in the least. So, yeah, okay. Here we are. So it looks like I was able to get everything to work properly. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, everybody is sitting around this wonderful table. You have Helenta here, Stephen, Zathia over there, Jorith, Alistair. Let's see, you have some other people. Athena, Armos, and Apton are on this side. So very nice. Okay. So let me get back to our story now that I have the map up. Great. And he's so Fordor comes over and he takes your all's order. He gives you the menus and says, "Welcome back. What is it that you would like this evening?" And he hands the boards back out with the menus to him. And Alistair says, "My good man, if you don't mind." And he just reaches into a satchel and he brings out probably what you can gather is about 20 gold pieces. And he just tosses it to Fordar. And Fordar just sort of pockets it like this. Says, "You can have whatever you want." And he said, "Thank you, sire, for your generosity." And he bows kind of low, being that Fordor is from this country and he does know understand Alistair's station. So you see Fordor look over at Sherry and he said, "Bring them whatever they need. No questions." So you all sit there and food is brought out. There's fine drink and wine and everything. And you get a chance to sit and talk with the Marquis and his adjutant. Is there anything you wanted to ask them or while you're sitting and partaking of this fine meal?
How's everything on the front lines?
He says, "Well, that's a very, very good question. I just was able to tear myself away once I heard that you had made it this far. I, of course, have spies along the road keeping an eye on stuff, so thank you for asking about our progress. Well, it does seem that we are at a crossroads. We have been able to actually get in contact with any of the envoys from the barbarian hordes. And so we're hoping that we have a break soon. Of course, we're right now at the beginning of spring, unfortunately, and the campaign season is going to be upon us very, very quickly, which means we're all going to war. So I don't know what else to tell you. It's like right now we're at a standstill. We're just waiting to see what the barbarians are going to do next." And he says, "Other than that, we do have allies, and at least we have that." But and he said, "Am I correct in saying that you all are actually ambassadors from the mayor of Greyhawk?"
That we are. We are ambassadors, bringing papers and messages to Chindle.
Ah, that's wonderful. You're going to see the king. That is good. Hopefully there's some good news in that. He said, "Other than that, that was all that I had heard about your mission. Of course, I'm not going to pry any further because I know it is of probably some importance and it needs to be kept secret." So he's like, the dining room is kind of filling up kind of fast. A beautiful elven woman carrying a violin takes to the stage directly to your south here, as you can see her on your map. I don't know if I can... There I am. I had to break out my... and she starts playing. All the while, her long black hair reflects blue in the light of the candles now being lit at each table, because it's getting a little bit darker outside, so they're bringing in candles. A few patrons have actually lined up at the door, waiting for Sherry to seat them. I need you to roll perception.
I'm gonna go dance.
Okay, so as you all are sitting there, enjoying your food and talking with, okay, so
Marquise?
right.
She's not playing was it Reigns of Castamere, right?
We're gonna all have a bad time. As long as you're not pregnant, they should be pregnant.
Nobody's going to sneak up behind you and stab you with one of the new daggers you got.
Nobody broke an oath, a marriage vow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Apton and Athena, as you all are you're kind of trying to take in and do a little people watching while you're sitting here, and there are a few patrons lined up near the door waiting for sherry, and it looks to be a dwarf wearing a burlap cape walks in. His face is kind of hidden by the deep hood that is on the cloak. But he, I think I went too far. It's always something. He doesn't, he actually pushes past some of the waiting patrons. Some are protesting, but he doesn't seem to notice them. He continues to walk and walks past you and centers himself in the center of the dining hall. And I'm going to show you where he is actually at. Let me just I need to actually drop an icon, because I don't actually have an icon for him, unfortunately. So let me see if I can I'm going to draw something. Ooh, I'm going to draw a shape.
Oh, what?
A shape, boys and girls.
Please no male genitalia.
No, I'm not going to do the male genitalia. Okay, you see this purple section right here?
Yeah.
Okay, that is where he stops. And see, okay, so he gets to the middle of the dining hall, and with a quick action, the dwarf rips off the cape and hood, revealing its true nature. Standing before you is an animated construct made of crystal. A magic mouth appears where a mouth would have been if it had been a living creature, and shouts, Sarasha Kuda Magado! And as soon as it says these words, a blinding flash of light erupts from the chest of the crystalline construct. And this is where it gets crazy.
What language did it speak when it said that?
Let's see. Are any of you fluent in Abyssal?
Nope.
No,
let me look.
Yeah, check and see.
Do we just get suicide blinded? Suicide bomb blinded?
Anybody? Nobody?
No.
Oh, okay. So
He's down here, but I'm
D&D
assuming
Beyond on the left side, all the way down.
Oh, languages? None. I don't speak any languages.
You don't even speak common. You gotta pick your languages.
No,
Okay.
I didn't. I'm assuming I speak common, but
yeah. So the
Common,
force.
motherfucker.
So the force of the explosion blows everyone to the floor, toppling chairs and turning over tables. Simultaneously outside in the market square, similar explosions can be heard. The force of the explosion has blown out the windows, showering those outside with shards of broken glass and crystal. Once the smoke and dust clears, you get a better look at the carnage around you. And I need you guys to make a reflex save.
Dexterity?
Yes. Thank you. And let me see what those are.
Hey, whatever it is, just stick it in me.
Stick it in you.
And Athena, too.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. What have you done?
Shards in my eye.
Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. Okay. I was a little worried about this.
I'm fine.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Apton's good. Actually, Apton was able to pretty much throw himself under the table. So actually, Apton will only take half damage from what I'm about ready to do.
You won't die. Brian's like, I'm done with this shit.
I'm about to get decapitated.
About ready to get decapitated. It's not that bad. Okay, so here we go.
66.
Okay, so here's what happens. Apton, you'll take half of that.
It's not that bad. Here's all of your health.
Times 2.
Okay. So what ended up happening? Where are we standing? Because
Wait,
Apton...
that's the damage that we take?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it fire damage?
No, it's explosive force damage and
That sounds
and shrapnel.
Okay, well, and it's not radiant?
No, it's not radiant.
All right, and then I can make a charisma save throw.
Okay.
On success, instead of going below 0, I drop to 1 instead.
Okay. Very good.
Using Strength of the Grave. How do I... There you go.
Okay.
Strength of the Grave.
Okay. Charisma savings throw.
And then I go to 1 health.
Okay.
Oh, charisma?
Yep. Nice.
All right.
Okay, very good. So yeah, you are actually at 1 hit point. You are stunned, but you can move. You wouldn't be able to fight.
I look like Deadpool.
Let's see. Apton, you walked away with what, like 31? Was it 15, 16 damage?
17. So I'm at 4.
Okay, so you're at 4. Athena, what ended up happening? Did you get destroyed? She
I
looks.
have like 28 health total anyway. So.
Okay, so I need you to make a death savings throw. It's a 1d20. You have to beat a 10, if I remember right.
I think it's 10 or above.
Yeah. Is considered success.
I'm trying to find a place to do that
On the bottom left,
Of
roll
20?
D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond. Bottom. There it is. So, a D20?
Yes.
Stop.
I think I did it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. To everyone?
You did not roll. Click it.
I did. I clicked it twice. Oh, I clicked 2.
Doesn't seem to be working.
I
No.
accidentally rolled 2 of them.
Oh. Okay.
I see a roll of 10 on D&D Beyond, but it didn't go...
Yeah, it didn't
roll.
Yeah, it didn't go over to So what was your roll?
Let's just say it sucked.
Oh, okay.
What's
So
the save?
I mean-
what is the save?
what was your first roll?
Well, it was not a 10 or better.
Oh, okay. So you get 3 tries.
Right
So-
away?
No, you don't have to do them right away.
No, not right away. I'll tell you here in a couple of minutes, because you may actually get aid. If somebody walks over and heals you right now, that stops. So that's kind of nice. Okay, so let me explain. Once the smoke and dust is cleared out a little better, you get a chance to look at the carnage around you. Almost all of the inn's patrons have sustained significant damage. Apton and Armos, as you look around, you can see that there are dead amongst the patrons here. You can hear screams coming from inside and outside of the inn, and a fire has broken out at the tavern next door, the Starshine Tavern. Others have arrived and start picking their way to help move the wounded out of the armored badger. The world swims around your vision, and your head hurts due to the force of the blast. Concentration is very difficult, and you look around, and this is what you see. Halinta had taken the brunt of the blast, trying to shield Jorith. A large, sharp crystal has pierced her back and is sticking out the front of her chest. Blood trickles from her mouth as she gasps her last on the floor. Under her is the unconscious body of Jorith. He looks to have been incapacitated in the explosion, but he is still alive. Alistair rushes over and picks up Zathia's lifeless body. A single crystal shard has punctured her temple, her right temple, killing her instantly. Alistair is bleeding from a neck wound, and he has several lacerations on his arms, but nothing fatal. As you look next to you, Apton, you see Armos is lying, kind of lying next to you on the floor. He is moving. He looks extremely stunned. But next to him, Athena has been hurt terribly, and it looks as though she may not survive. Stephen Vance has sustained an injury to his optic nerve, and he can't see, and he calls out for Halinta, but of course she has passed and reaching for her fruitlessly. A piece of crystal is torn through his right cheek and blood spills from the wound onto his dust-covered uniform. Let's see. The elven woman playing the violin had rushed over to help Fodor to his feet. A large chunk of crystal has lodged itself into his right eye socket. The she-elf has sustained severe injuries to her torso and legs. She is running on pure adrenaline, and without proper treatment, she's going to bleed out. Sherry was the closest to the bomb when it detonated. Her body was hurled towards the door over 2 tables. Her right side is a tangle of torn flesh. Her neck was broken when she landed. In total, 8 people, from what you gather, have died in the armored badger, and 13 are wounded. What are you planning on doing, Shane? Right now, you're about the only one who's on his feet, and it's looking pretty bad in here.
Are they both next to me?
Armos is right next to you, just as on the map. And Athena is on just a little bit away from him also.
All right. Well, actually, let me see, because maybe I can do this from a distance. 60 feet, so I can do that. And, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on over to them.
Okay.
Right here. And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds as a 2nd level spell on Athena.
Okay.
That's going to go and do that.
Good.
Which is garbage as shit.
Garbage as shit?
So you get 8 health back.
Okay, so yes, Athena, you are now once again up.
So I can also cast Healing Word as a bonus action.
Okay.
And I'm going to use that on Armos.
Okay, very good. So go ahead and heal those good folks up. Sorry.
Heal me good. +2.
No, it comes to +6.
Ooh.
Okay, very good. All right, so yeah, some of you guys have some health back, which is great.
Woo.
Okay.
After I've done that, I will try and do what I can using med skills on anybody, kind of still alive. Spare the dying as I can.
Okay.
So anybody who looks like they're unconsciously dying and not dead.
Yeah, most likely, like I was saying, the Elven Bard probably would need help. Fordor is going to need help, but it's not a fatal wound. He's just going to lose an eye from it. Other than that, but you can hear wails and all types of chaos going on outside. So Athena and Armos, you guys are now on your feet. And you are now surveying the scene. You see that Alistair has picked up Zathia and has started to carry her towards the door to get out of the building. Jorith is closely behind him. He was able to wake him with a splash of water. Unfortunately, Stephen is blind and is pretty much was kind of left to his own devices. Unfortunately, he is still clutching his now deceased fiance.
I'm going to yell for his name. Marith. The kid's dad.
Oh, Alistair.
Marquise.
Alistair, yeah.
I'm going to tell him to stay inside because it's probably safer in here than it is out there.
You see him, in the fog of everything, you don't know if he actually heard you or not. Like I said, the screaming and crying and wailing, it's just really filling the entire building. So unfortunately, he ends up walking out and leaving you kind of very concerned and extremely worried. But yeah, so you walk around and you are able to, using triage, be able to kind of figure out who can be saved and who can't.
Black tag.
And yeah,
That creature, can I do a knowledge arcana on it?
yeah, of course you can.
All right.
Matter of fact, you can take a look at some of the leftover parts.
Oh, I'm seeing plenty of them.
Unfortunately, you are not really too sure with what has actually occurred. You were still, both of you are still very shaken by the
I'm
experience.
in shock that you just killed off Sathya.
Boom. I'm not.
Helena.
Honestly, I'm really not. I'm just not.
Is it because it's Brian and you're like going, this guy was waiting to drop the bomb on all these people?
Yeah, like, congratulations. Thanks for saving my kids. Suck it.
I was going to interrupt you when you were saying he was walking in. I was going to be like, can I do an insight check on him real quick?
Yeah, I was like, this dude's not passing the vibe check, but I rolled a 2, so...
So you're going to roll an insight check and be like, oh no, get under the table.
I was going to suggest the mother... Leave. You don't pass the vibe check. I suggest you go anywhere else.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so...
So there's no
gonna happen.
enemies, though. The one just came in and blew up.
Right. And
So
yeah, from if you will make an intelligence check, both you, Athena and Armos, if you make an intelligence check, you'll also kind of realize that this was obviously not the only one,
an
because
investigation or
well, it's not like you're really investigating. You're actually hearing things.
Okay.
Apton was so aware of his surroundings that he was able to pick up that, oh my gosh, this is not just a one-off. So Armos, yeah, you were able to, you realize after you clear your head a little bit that there were multiple bombs that went off. Same with you,
determine
Athena.
if the threat is over and done with, or is there going to be a second wave? Is there an active enemy?
Unfortunately, you're not really too sure.
Okay.
What has you have not heard any other similar explosions.
Okay.
So
Just the cries.
yeah, the
So this is
crying
the only
and
one, or there were
screaming
others?
there were other explosions.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it's not targeted at who was in here.
Right.
All right, so we need to establish a perimeter, I suppose, and take a look outside without going outside.
Okay. Well, the windows have been blown out, so it's easy enough to look outside if you once you gain
Right.
your feet, and you can walk over. And outside the inn is not much better. You can see that a bomb had detonated in the Starshine Tavern. There is now a fire raging through the structure.
I'm going to be controlling flames as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you will probably have to step outside to get close enough to do so, unless there is a range on that. You can also see that 2 more bombs had probably exploded in the market square itself, bringing the total to 4. Many of the tents and booths were shredded and blown to the ground.
yeah, I can instantaneously expand flame in one direction. I can extinguish flames within the cube. It says instantaneously.
Okay.
So fairly quick, and that's a 60-foot reach.
Oh wow! Okay, so yeah, you're well within range of the Starshine. As he is now, Apton and Athena, you're watching Armos is controlling the fire and killing the flames and the starshine from the windows. You can hear the voice of Alistar calling out for help as he's standing in the sort of off to the not quite in the market, kind of in between the inn and the market, and it's just such a pitiful sight and very, very disturbing to see all the carnage laid out in front of you. What are you gonna do? Yeah, Armos, you're busy.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
So you all are still inside the inn. Shane is busy walking around trying to be combat medic and trying to either triage folks to see how bad they are, or are they, can they walk, are they ambulatory, things of that nature. And then, of course, he is administering rites to those who have kind of passed beyond the veil. So, Athena, what are you doing as you're standing there covered in blood and the shock is worn off?
I don't think it has worn off. I still don't know what to do. I don't have any magic to, help cure people. I don't have any magic to help control flames or whatever. I'm a fighter and there's no enemies to fight.
Yeah, it would be very, it would probably be very kind of demoralizing and a little, you're not really too sure what to do. So yeah, maybe Apton might be able to see your forlornness and be able to maybe direct you to assist.
I'm going to have her, I'm going to yell for Athena to come move bodies to different areas up near the bar. Bring those who are okay, those who are dead, put to the south side near where the explosion was, and those who need help to the east. If she can help sort the people out, then it'll help me from having to run around as much.
Right. Okay, so very good. Yeah, so
that I can do. I'd start working on that.
Okay,
then.
so yeah, you partition off the room. You have her move tables that have been turned over so you can actually clear areas, so you can work. Armos, you now have the flames extinguished in the starshine. So now you can turn your abilities elsewhere if you would like. I'm not sure what else you wanted to do.
Yeah. I'm looking. A lot of my spells are damage as well. And I'm not too strong. I can enhance. I'll ask Apton, would you like to get a boost in wisdom to boost your medical checks?
Honestly, how is he doing? How's his health?
7 of 17.
So you're still not so squishy healthful. I'm gonna see if
I don't want to get hit ever. It's no big deal. I'm just rolling 3d20s. Famous last words.
Should be happy it wasn't 4.
Right. How about one of those can kill me on like a 30% chance. You rolled a 19 on one of them as well. So.
I don't know how many people are actually in here, because if I'm looking at I guess you said it was starting to fill up, so there's probably more people than what we're on here.
Yeah. There's more. There were more people. Actually, I can give you an accurate count of what you are looking at so far. Let's see.
By boosting his wisdom, it would give him an advantage on perception, medical, insight, animal handling, survival, especially survival. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, but it doesn't really say anything about like medicine or healing checks or something like that. I don't know if they really have that in 5th edition.
They do. They have medicine checks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so medicine says stabilize a dying companion.
Honestly, I can do that with spare the dying.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
I
a
can
can?
just- Yeah,
It's a cantrip.
it's just.
It's a
You
cantrip.
okay? You okay? You okay? You okay? You okay? You okay?
You get
Hip
a
tap, hip tap.
right. So yeah, all total right now, as far as your count goes, probably 5 to 10 minutes into post explosion, you have 8 dead and 13 wounded.
All right, I guess if our building is triaged and flameless, I don't know.
But
We gotta
so
we gotta calm down Alistair.
have I been able to get them? So have I been able to get everybody stabilized at least?
Yeah, the ones who were badly damaged have been stabilized. So
right,
the dying are beyond your help, or the dead are beyond your help. The dying you were able to save some people. So that's
about-
really good.
Zathia's brother.
Zathia's brother actually had superficial wounds because the blast was, for the most part, Halenta took most of the blast. Yeah.
I'm going to suggest that once everybody's been like stabilized, I'm going to say we need to go and find. Boy, I'm starting to think I got Alzheimer's because I can't remember his name.
Alistair?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have to go find Alistair immediately because he's probably in the most danger for the rank that he is.
Okay. That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
If
All right.
you two can start looking for him, I want to see about getting Jorthal to the Temple of Cord. I think that there he would probably be safest.
Okay.
And I should know at least which direction he went.
Who?
Went
Alistair?
outside.
No, they're just directly outside.
Oh, okay. I thought he was out roaming.
No.
So then I'm going to say
trying to
let's
get
get them all. Cord.
trying to get help. So, yes, in your post shell shock state, as you pick your way through the bombed out ruins, he's now made his way into the marketplace looking for any help. The devastation is, of course, heartbreaking as the wails of the wounded and grieving. Clerics have started to arrive from other holy houses to tend the wounded, but with so many of them at the front, there's hardly enough clerics to care for all who have fallen. Alistair, of course, carries Zathia, and he is now... as he continues to call for help and looking down at his dead and deceased daughter. And I need you all, as you're standing outside, as you're approaching him, I need you to make a perception check. Okay.
Now I think it.
Okay. So actually, Athena is really about the only one who notices that through the smoke and ruin strides a figure in black wearing the peaked hat of a witch, and perched upon her staff is a large buff-colored owl.
There's a witch coming.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do I see it?
She,
point at her.
Once Athena points her out and says she seems to glide through the gloom, and she actually approaches Alistar. She's literally like right next to him. As you all have started, you're right there next to him as well. Her approach was kind of sudden, and it actually catches Alistar off guard. Her long red hair spills from beneath her hat. she stands almost as tall as Alistar himself. Her large round glasses shield bright green eyes made small by the lens's curvature. Light freckles powder her cheeks and nose, and the large owl flies off to perch on a lamppost nearby. She props her staff against a nearby tree, and she reaches out her arms for Zathia. The dazed Alistar just slowly passes his daughter to the stranger. And she sits down at the base of the tree, holding Zathia close. And Apton, she looks to you and says, "Mouseman, remove my hat, and inside you will find a compartment near the peak. In the compartment you'll find a pearl. Hold it near the child whilst I remove the shard."
I'll go ahead and do what I'm doing, but as I'm doing it, I will do a arcane check.
Sure.
As I'm watching, so I can see if I can tell what she's doing.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Would it be sort of an investigation to see if her intentions are good?
You both can go ahead and make those rolls if you need.
I don't investigate shit.
Most doesn't know crap.
She could be attempting to kill Zathia further.
Well, I don't know how you can kill somebody who's already dead, but wow.
There's ways.
And Athena got a better arcane roll than Armos.
Well, I did investigation.
Oh, that's true too. Did you want to go ahead and do an arcane?
Yeah, just to see what the crystal is. Yeah, who's laughing now?
Okay. Alrighty.
My investigation is 4, but my arcana was 16.
Okay, so you try to, as you are doing as she is told, Apton, you are sort of trying to get a glimpse or try to figure out what is her story and what is her deal. So both you and Athena, because both of you guys got actually a pretty good rolls for your arcana. And so Athena, you've heard of them before, and Apton, you know of them, and they are a very rare order of witch known as the Moon Maidens. And I'll give you kind of a little bit of information on what Moon Maidens do. Okay, so Moon Maidens carry pearls. They carry one pearl specifically. And it's a pearl that has a faint glow. It is used by Moon Maidens to resurrect the dead. A maiden can only have one pearl at any given time. And if the maiden uses her pearl, she will have to wait until the night of the full moon to acquire another. Only elven women who are warlocks are chosen as moon maidens. And the reason this is because elven longevity. For when a pearl is used, the health of the moon maiden is transferred to the dead person. Every time a moon maiden uses the pearl, she subtracts a year of her life.
Whoa.
There are only 5 moon maidens known to exist. They are rare, just as rare as the pearls they carry.
It's actually not a bad deal as an elf. Just like 1 year. Yeah.
You also know that being that their patron is the moon, you know that their patrons specifically resurrect people for a purpose. So this is very monumental, what you are experiencing.
Cool.
So,
Can I help her in any way? Either intelligence or wisdom?
You probably don't need to. This is
Okay.
probably definitely something that you wouldn't have to worry too much about.
I thought you were going to try seducing her.
Yeah, sure, why not? I'll boost my own charisma. Resurrect me anytime, baby.
Okay, so the pearl flashes a bright white light when you pull it from the hat, and you look at the woman and realize that she is no human once you remove her peaked hat, but she's an elf. Her sharp ears poke through her long red tresses, and she continues, "Quickly, when I remove the splinter, place the pearl in the wound." And with that, she plucks the long splinter from Zathia's temple.
And I do as I am told
Okay.
to do.
As you place the pearl in the cut, the elven woman places her delicate hand upon yours, flattening your palm against the wound. Power flows through you, channeled by the pearl. You look at Zathia. Soft light fills the space where she lies, and all the while the elven woman chants a single mantra in her native tongue. Kun volosa puden palauta sila tala pinela. And she keeps saying this. And if you know Elvish, anybody speak Elvish?
I don't.
None of you speak Elvish. Jesus Christ.
We trust her.
Yeah.
She could be banishing her to hell. We trust her.
Oh, she's dead anyways. What's it matter?
Okay.
Okay. So, Apton, you look up into her eyes expecting to see the bright green you saw before, but now all you see are black orbs staring back at you. Pain creases her brow and tears stream down her face, and her lips are pulled back in a grimace. A quiet agony you do not share. Others now stand around in awe, watching the light grow and grow. I mean, it's literally very bright that people have to shield their eyes from it. Excuse me. So Zathia takes a sharp breath, and as the witch slumps forward unconscious, the glow fades, and her head, the witch's head, lands on Zathia's shoulder, and her hand slips from atop Apton's. The pearl has disappeared, and no evidence of the wound remains. A crowd of onlookers watch as Alistair picks up his daughter, and the witch remains propped against the tree.
I'm gonna pick up the shard and stick it in my little mouse pouch.
Roll a perception check on the shard.
I'll roll that perception check for you.
Actually, all three of you can, because you actually saw the shard.
Don't mess up. I messed up. I messed up horribly. You know what? I'll just take a break. Why not?
I worked hard today.
You've had enough. So, okay. So, yeah, you go ahead and pocket the shard, but you don't realize anything or any significance.
Mine rolled in pop. It's 22.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yours is usually kind of slow on the uptake. You notice something very interesting about this shard. When it was in Zathia's temple, it was clear, almost kind of a translucent. But now that it's laying on the ground, or now it's in your palm, it is actually black like onyx.
Well, I will stick it in my pouch. I'm assuming nothing else has exploded out of the shards, so I'm assuming it's not going to explode on me.
Right.
Stick that one in my prison pocket. And,
Now, is she at 100% health, or is there still...
Well, interesting that you should ask that. You're not really too sure what her percentage is, but you realize, Apton, that you are completely healed.
Yay!
Healy McFeely.
I will go ahead and... What are you guys at?
What?
They're literally standing right next to you, just like in awe as they're watching.
No, I mean, what's their health like? I
what's-
know Ricky's still low, but
I'm only at 8.
I'm just missing half a lung.
Only half.
I would heal her.
well, I'm thinking about doing it, but this takes 10 minutes. That's so stupid.
Is it it's a
Ritual.
It's a ritual. Yeah.
Yeah. Prayer of healing. When do I ever have 10 minutes just to sit around? It's not
Well,
like we're really...
this is one of those situations where that would actually come in handy if you had others bring their wounded to you, because isn't it an area of effect?
No, it does 6 people.
Still, 6 people. 6.
Well, I mean, I'll do Ricky. I'll do, Armos, Athena, Alabaster.
Alistair.
Alistair. Um,
Follow
that's
that girl.
and did anybody else follow? Is anybody else like right next to us?
I mean, there are other people who are
It'll
now
take you 10
standing around
minutes.
that had watched the miracle of the moon pearl. Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody who's like I can tell looks like they need it.
Oh yeah,
Three
there's
other random
How
people.
yeah, there are
how about
definitely other people who could use that
the
ritual.
the guy with the eye? Missing eye?
Is he within 30 feet of me or?
Go get him. It takes 10 minutes for you to cast it.
Well, if
Well, you
he's yeah, actually, you all should probably be going to get people. He's got to actually sit down and start this ritual.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll
Mr. Selfish McSelfishers.
Right? He's just like, if you're not here, forget about it. It's going to take me 10 minutes. There's just you three right here.
as good as any other three. Actually, was there anybody else in
Oh my
his
gosh.
party that survived that needs a little heal on?
Can you heal vision?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably.
But I
not.
can guarantee he needs the health.
All right. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and then
So what exactly are you doing? Is it casting a spell?
God, my spells rolls have been sucking.
What the heck?
They all get 8 health.
Okay,
So,
that's not bad. Still, 8 health is much better than none. So
yeah, but on a 2d8 plus 4,
yeah, that's a little low, but
You-
it's okay. But
Did
no,
you roll a 0 on one of those? What?
how do you roll a 0?
I don't know. On roll 20, if I hover over it, it says +0.
Oh no, that's
That's-
that. There was no other pluses
So-
involved.
You rolled a. Oh, yeah. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
You
it's
rolled a
little-
3
it's
and a
little
1
strange.
plus 4, and then that equals 8 plus 0.
Right. Okay.
Got it.
So there you have it. Okay, cool.
I was going to
Alrighty.
try and boost it, but yeah.
So yeah, by the time you are finished with your ritual, you were able to heal many your friends and 3 other people, and I also believe you were able to heal. Zathia is completely healed, so you don't actually have to worry about her. And Alistair also was able to partake in your ritual healing. So very, very good.
Woo!
Yes. So now you're standing in the middle of the marketplace. Others have it hasn't calmed down, but it has calmed down a lot better than when it all started. You feel that you have definitely you feel drained and tired. Apton, you are actually still kind of coming down from the Moon Pearl high, so you're actually very kind of excited as you are kind of walking around and checking on those and other people, using spare the dying on many other folks who were not in your ritual area of effect. So you now can see that Alistar and Zathia and Jorith are standing next to the tree that the young witch is still unconscious 20 minutes later. And it looks as though Alistar and the two other soldiers who were at the door that when you guys entered, they were for the most part unharmed. They are standing guard over the witch.
So everyone's basically collected in a common space.
Yeah, you have other people who have came to collect the dead. You're right now about 45 minutes, almost 50 minutes after the initial explosions.
Okay. I want to try to gather information if anybody saw pre-attack indicators or, something after.
The only thing that you you finally are able to find somebody who was in the inn who understood the language that the magic mouth spoke from the crystal bomb. And it was abyssal. And so what you're thinking is, after you kind of put two and two together, go ahead and do another arcane check as they tell you a little. It's hard for you.
12's above average, okay?
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and then,
I'll just leave.
Of course, the shifter fighter is like, arcane knowledge. Oh yeah, just come to me. I know all the shit. So
yeah, basically.
So as you all are standing there, and Athena's trying to, Athena's actually cluing you two in to what's actually going on here.
She's like, yeah, I've survived an explosion like this 3 times. Let me tell you exactly what it is.
I've heard about this magic.
This happens all the time back home. Jeez.
We have parties like this. It's just like fireworks.
Yeah.
They were supposed to go up first.
Okay. When we were in school, we had to do drills.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so from the information that you've been able to glean was that it was an abyssal, and you it says what it means is a gift from the Barbarian Kings. And from what you gather, this may have been a trigger to activate explosive runes inside these animated crystal bombs.
That's nice.
Yeah. But I would like for you all to make an investigation check.
I know what it is.
How many?
I can smell you. She did too, apparently.
Yeah, I'm like going. Oh, do you have it?
I didn't mean to do too. It just happened.
Okay. Oh. Wow. So actually, all 3 of you did very, very well, and that's great, because you all were able to, as you're sitting there, kind of putting 2 and 2 together. And Apton, you know this more because you're actually from a northern forest, not too far away from the barbarian lands. You're going, wait a minute, this just doesn't make any sense. Barbarians, for the most part, are not magical folk. They actually shy away from magics. They're very distrustful. Why would they use such an arcane device to create such terror? This is what's kind of swimming around in all 3 of your minds.
So it's like contractor work, because it definitely wasn't an actual barbarian.
Yeah.
The barbarians are working with someone else, or they hired
or somebody's
someone
trying
else.
to set up the barbarians.
Or they're working with somebody.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a hit job. So maybe this town went out and raided the wrong barbarian encampment, and this is payback. So I'm going to ask General Alistair if he knows of any attacks in the enemy land that has happened recently.
He, as he's sitting there holding his daughter and his son, he says, well, we've been at war for the last 2 years with the barbarians. Of course, this is the first time that we've ever seen this level of sophistication. Usually, yeah, you have a barbarian, like a horde raid or something of that nature. You don't have a crystal bomb just show up in one of our fortress cities. That right there that just doesn't happen. It doesn't make sense.
Isn't this a walled city?
Yes, it is.
How'd it get in?
That is a very good question.
So it either came from within, teleported in.
Well, it was disguised as a dwarf as it came in.
That's true.
So,
yeah,
that's highly sophisticated.
Yeah, because they're kind of almost like crystal golems, but they're not as large. They're actually they're dwarf size, so they would be easily missed, especially in lands where dwarves are common. Furiondi being one of those places. It does have dwarvish communities. So, yeah.
So, have you fought any enemies in the barbarian territory that are as sophisticated as this attack?
And he says, no. This is completely. I don't think their shaman would be able to pull off this level of sophistication with an arcane bomb like this.
Okay. Does anybody else here with local knowledge know of a creature sophisticated enough to do this?
He said there's only, other than the Horn Society or even the Kingdom of Ayuz, those are really the only two that would hold such arcane knowledge.
Well, I'm gonna ask Cleric Apton what he thinks is the best course of action.
Honestly, I think just getting everybody cleaned up, getting everything closed down and barricaded up so everything can get situated before, and just in case something else happens.
Tell the guards to look better at all the doors.
Be nice if they had a gem of true seeing, but I doubt anybody's got that here.
So tell the guards to be racist towards dwarves, and
they're doing some profiling.
Just like they have to see the face, no hooded creatures allowed past.
And sweep up the inn.
Okay. So it's so yeah, you can see that there's shards stuck in the walls and places like that, and it's just very disturbing as you walk around and see the carnage. But folks, it is now 8:22. Probably a good time for us to probably wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll say.
Not too bad.
That was a big boom.
So what'd you guys think? Pretty good night?
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all.
Only because you brought Sathya back.
I got ripped off. I got blown up.
Ripped off and blown up. Yeah, I was really kicking around the idea of like, okay, who with the explosion, who's going to take, which NPCs are going to make the ultimate sacrifice. And
I perceived the guy. I was planning on doing something, and I didn't like the way he came in the room, and I was planning on investigating him through inviting him to dance, which is
that would have been beautiful.
That would have been awesome. I would save so many people. Probably not.
Probably not. You probably would have been vaporized.
Probably.
More so.
Yeah, because you know what would have happened? You would not have gotten a reflex save roll. You would have just taken all the damage right there, and you would have died. And you probably would have had to roll a new character, because it would have just, I wouldn't have given you an option. Because that's right, the DM.
Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Boom.
Boom. Yeah. All right. So I want to thank you guys for showing up tonight and having such a good time. I'm glad that we're partying, and Christina's not angry with me for killing Zathia, which, but yeah.
Oh, she's still angry. She's just in shock. She doesn't know how to display it.
Well, it was when I first said it, and you're sitting there looking at me going, "Wait, what? Wait, what's happening here?" It was the look on your face. It was the shock, and I'm like, "Oh boy, did I just mess up?"
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you all again for showing up, folks in chat. Thank you very much for dropping by this evening and seeing and watching our stream. Please make sure to if you like what you see, follow us. Visit us on Facebook and on Reddit and our YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel. And what's the sleight of hand for Armos? You trying to steal something?
I'm just rolling this.
You just seeing how bad he gets. Yeah. So yeah, thanks again for thanks to all those who visit and this is why we do this, is because we like to have fun and we like to turn people on to the game. And so, folks, you guys want to say bye before we hit our outro here?
Yeah, have a great night and enjoy next week because it's a full week, unlike this nice little 4-day week we had.
Yeah, it's no fun. Have to go back to the real world. Yeah, because if there was a way that I could stream D&D, 24 hours a day, I would probably try to do it. But my wife would kill me. So, have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
This episode is sponsored by Magic.